A very good morning to all my dear friends. I am Prashant Mavani. I hope you all are doing good. Today is 11th of February 2020. Day is Tuesday, and on our table we have so many important articles. The first one is an editorial. The name is Reservation as Right. It is about Supreme Court's decision on Uttarakhand government's decision to fill up posts without giving reservations. So what it is all about, we are going to analyze it in detail. But before that, I would like to inform all of you that yesterday I was not able to deliver lectures because I was in a funeral. So from Sunday late night, I was late evening, I was at a place and I was away from my desk. So I'll try to bring them out as soon as possible. Today I'm talking about 10th February 2020's The Hindu analysis as well as daily financial news analysis. With this, dear friends, I would like to introduce all of you to our pen drive and tablet courses, which are designed by the best faculties of our country. With the help of our pen drive and tablet courses, there are thousands of students out there. They have cracked various different competitive exams. You can purchase them from StudyIQ.com. To download the PDF of today's lecture, you have two sources. One is my FB page and the second one is my Telegram channel. Please make sure that you share this lecture with other students. If you want to say thank you, or if you have genuinely learned something from today's discussion, then don't forget to hit the like button. And please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, and do inform other students as well to subscribe to our YouTube channel. So let's talk about reservation as right. Now, first of all, why it is in news. This item is in news is because in recent past, Uttarakhand government's decision, it decided that it is going to fill up some posts, government posts, without providing a reservation. So this was challenged in Supreme Court, and finally the Supreme Court took a stand as well. Now, the legal team of Uttarakhand government is right when it is saying that under this Article 16 of our constitution, we have the subclauses 4 and 4A, which guarantees, this Article 16 of our constitution guarantees equality of opportunity in matter of public employment. If you go through the subsection clause 4 and 4A, we have to understand this thing, that this reservation, right, this reservation in job is not mandatory. In fact, this clauses are enabling rather than being mandatory, and they are not part of fundamental rights. And that's what Supreme Court has said, that states are not bound to provide quotas in government jobs, and there is no fundamental right to claim reservation in promotion. You cannot means reservation is not part of fundamental right. And the whole nature of reservation, and we have to understand the whole character of reservation, is self-cancelling. A day will come, certainly come, when this reservation will not be required in our country. In our country, we have as far as our constitution is concerned, everyone is equal. No one is above anyone. And we have these differences in our society, and this is a reality as well, that we have economical or financial differences, we have social differences in our country. These are all the things that we find. But as far as our constitution is concerned, everyone is equal, and we want to create this thing in our society as well, that when it comes to when it comes to society or various different castes and communities, everyone should be equal, right? That's what we want to see. We don't want to see any lower caste or higher caste. Everyone should be on same page, or roughly speaking, on the same platform. When it comes to financial equality as well, this is something that we want to see. I am not saying that everyone should have same amount in their bank, right? It all depends on our capacity and our efforts and other various different things. But basically, each and every household should have all those basic things, like a shelter or a house or a home. You should have portable water facility, electricity, transportation facility, hospital facilities, and all these things should be available to each and every single citizen of our country. That's what we want to see in long run, and we should do everything that is possible to make sure that we head towards this equality. It's not an utopian state. This is something very basic, right? Utopian state it's like an imaginary thing where everyone is happy. Now it all depends, but let's not go into utopian thing. Let's just stick with the basics, that this basic facilities should be available to each and every. Just access to justice as well is a very important thing. So the whole nature of reservation is self-cancelling. When we will have this thing in our society, then of course there will be no requirement of reservation. Now, one more thing that is not discussed here, but I would like to add here, and you have to understand this thing, that what is the root cause? Why we find this reservation thing or demand for reservation, and why so many other castes as well in various different parts of our country or various different states, they are also demanding a reservation. They also want to see themselves under this reserved category. The reason is, see, at present and for a very long period of time, we can, means economically from past few quarters, things are not going that well, but overall if you see, right, then let me give you one figure, this will help you. As far as facts are concerned, right, only 7% of jobs in our country are formal. 7%. So 93% approximately jobs are in informal sector, or they are very informal in nature. And this 7% includes government jobs. In government job, you have comfort, you have perks, you have a permanent source of income, and there are so many other benefits with it. So there are so many castes, there are so many regions, right? People in that region, they want to see their kids entering into government sector so that they can have this, even if there is a recession or no recession, you will have a stable source of income every month, and you can, government job is forever. So this is one of the main reason why many people are, or many communities are demanding this reservation. Now we have to understand that state is not bound to provide reservation. It is giving it to create a just society. It is giving it to create this equal society, right? And there are few communities in our country that require a bit of support, and we have to understand this thing, that when you want to reach somewhere, then you have to do this give and take. You have to, means I do understand there are people out there, they feel a bit cheated. They feel like even they have got, let's say, 110 marks in XYZ exam, a person who has got reservation and that person has just got 95 mark, that person has been selected, or he or she has moved on to next round, but I have not been selected because I have got 110 general category, cutoff is different. We find this sort of things, and I do understand these things. I can understand the pain, but still we have to understand, we have to look at it from big picture. When it comes to nation, we have to stop thinking about a tree. We have to think about the whole forest. So it's like that. I hope you know what I mean. So we have to think big, that by giving this reservations, what we are doing is we are trying to make everyone equal. But again, let me tell you one more thing, that does not mean that we have to carry it forever. We should strive to make sure that we get rid of this system as soon as possible. And for that, government should collect data, information, and it should be updated and upgraded frequently as possible, or as frequently as necessary, so that we can design our policies in such a way that in near future we can get rid of this reservation system. Moving on to next item, it's about safeguarding the Delta. It's about Tamil Nadu. Now, Cauvery Delta, there is a region in Tamil Nadu which will be declared as a protected special agricultural zone by the Chief Minister or the Government of Tamil Nadu. And the Government of Tamil Nadu, for the Government of Tamil Nadu and for the State of Tamil Nadu, this zone or this particular delta is important because it is rice bowl of this Tamil Nadu state, and it comprises 8 districts. Now, there are people out there like farmers, right? They are not happy about this whole oil exploration thing, and Palaniswamy has recognized the farmers' concerns about hydrocarbon exploration and accorded primacy to food security. And this is the reason why government has decided to go ahead with this, declaring this PSAZ to this Cauvery Delta area. Farmers are saying that because of this exploration, groundwater will get contaminated, and Tamil Nadu CM has basically protested against this Environment Impact Assessment Notification 2006. The most interesting part about this 2006 notification is that the central government can go ahead with oil and gas exploration without prior environmental clearance and public consultation as far as things are associated with oil and gas. So here the Tamil Nadu state is paying more attention to farmers rather than energy security, and agricultural scientists such as M.S. Swaminathan, who is known as father of Indian Green Revolution, has said that we have to create this sort of special economic zones. We cannot allow other industries, to come and pollute our agriculture. Food security is one of the most important thing, and things like that. The government may have to brave central pressure. Tamil Nadu will be under immense pressure. Tamil Nadu itself is a very industrialized state, and there will be litigations or cases will be filed by this exploration companies because they have invested huge amount of money after this exploration, and now the state is changing the rules of the game. It will also impact its image, or when it comes to reputation of Tamil Nadu as investment climate. So that will have a negative impact if it goes ahead with this thing. Mr. Palaniswamy has rightly sensed that farmers' emotive and intense opposition cannot be ignored. You cannot ignore farmers in our country, and every government has to look after this maths as well, like how many votes you will get, how many communities are with you, and things like that. It is part and parcel, whether we like it or not. At present, it is reality. Each and every political party does this thing. They cannot allow farmers. They are big in numbers, so you cannot allow you cannot have cracks when it comes to relationship between government and farmers. Second, I beg your pardon, third item is prepared for the coronavirus. Now this article is written by bureaucrats. They are giving us like overview what we have done so far, what government of India has done so far. So let's quickly go through it. Now this NCOV, that is novel coronavirus, has infected more than 37,000 people, killed more than 800. WHO has declared it as a public health emergency of international concern. Indian government and health authorities have responded in a very robust manner. We have civilians, military, states, ministries, all the stakeholders are working together. We have created this world-class diagnostics and treatment protocols. Swift diplomacy was at work during Wuhan airlift. Temporary visa restrictions have been put in place. 645 Indians were evacuated from Wuhan. India issued its first advisory on 17th January. We created Emergency Medical Response Unit. A joint monitoring group under chairmanship of Directorate General of Health Services is activated. Thermal entry screening of passengers from China is taking place in 21 airports. Universal screening at earmarked aero bridges for all flights from China, Hong Kong, Singapore, Thailand is carried out. Screening at international seaports is going on. And in Kerala also, we saw this experience of Kerala in dealing with this Nipah virus helped quite a lot. It created this isolation methods during this Nipah virus outbreak. So this isolation methods are used in this coronavirus too, in this latest novel coronavirus phase. And the state bordering Nepal have even held special Gram Sabhas to empower people with information. We evacuated 7 Maldivian nationals as well. So far we have done many things as far as this novel coronavirus is concerned. And let me tell you one more time that, dear friends, you find questions on this sort of topics every year in your prelims examination. So please make sure that you go through all small details like symptoms and can it spread from one human being to another one. So this is a question for you, right? This novel coronavirus, it's from animal to humans, or it spreads from human to human also. Yes or no? State your answer in the questions in the comment section. And remember this SARS-CoV. At that point of time, this lopinavir and ritonavir were used as like medicines. At present, we don't have any specific medicine for novel coronavirus, but we are looking for it. But overall, we have to observe good hygiene and sanitization practice to make sure that we are protected from this coronavirus. So it's, as I told you, it's basically about steps taken by government so far. Now, well, let's talk about a mix Indian healthcare can do without. This one is about India's this whole insurance Pradhan Mantri Arogya Yojana and insurance scheme, something similar to what USA has been doing. Now, USA's health system is very expensive, and mind you, it's expensive, but it's not that effective. Just like in our country, or I would say just like USA, this time India has also tried to walk on this path of insurance, health insurance. Now, USA, as I told you, again, I'm saying that it's very expensive. You know, the USA spends huge amount of money for its health, for its overall health system, and most of the money is nowadays spent after checking frauds and other things. What is that? We will go through it. Over a century, U.S. healthcare has seen numerous elaborate arrangements from organizational and regulatory structures to payment mechanisms emerge, be dismantled and reincarnate with even greater degree of complexity. So we have seen ups and downs, and it will come out with one thing, then it will get rid of it, then again it will come out with the same thing. And so we have seen all these things in USA, and healthcare has repeatedly topped the political agenda. It is always there in news. When I say always, most of the time in news, controversies and other things going on. Now, traditional American values of individual freedom and consumerism is still going on, and they have private hospitals over there, private insurance companies, they have medical insurance, this government medical insurance, as well as government hospitals in USA. Things are a bit better than India, but here we have lack of facilities. Over there they have facilities, but it's very expensive. Here we don't have that many hospitals. We have many hospitals at metro level, but not at grassroots level. So we have this, you can say, gaps in our this medical chain. Now, Ayushman Bharat National Health Protection Scheme. It's basically an insurance cover that covers 50 crore poor Indians. In India, multiple policy pronouncements over the last few years have expressed an implicit intent to emulate certain features of US health system. And as we know so far, that USA's health system is very expensive and it's not that effective. Now, NHPS, this is basically Ayushman. So Ayushman affirmed strong mechanisms to check insurance fraud. 171 hospitals were de-empaneled because of this frauds like fake e-cards and manipulation of claims and other things. So what we are witnessing now is that we are creating another department, or you can say this whole new system is created where we have so many people, so many systems working to make sure that this fake e-cards and manipulation of claims and other things are not taking place. And to run this system, you need money. You have to spend money, and healthcare in USA is one of the most administratively and technologically intensive systems in the world. It spends huge amount of money to maintain this technology, as well as to this supporting staff. This non-clinical work takes away a huge chunk of money, roughly 50%. So what's happening now is that every penny spent on healthcare, very little goes into actually improving health. It's more about maintaining this non-clinical workers and this system. And this is something that is slowly taking place in our country as well. We need to spend more. Every penny that we are spending, it should create some sort of value in terms of health rather than this sort of systems. So a big question is we are now blindly following this USA system, and it looks like we are walking on the same path where USA is walking. So this is not going to be that helpful for a country like India, because we don't have that much money. Our pockets are not as deep as USA's pocket. So we have to spend every rupee, every paisa that we spend. We have to be very careful with it. And we don't want to see this sort of non-medical whole setup that is taking away nearly 50% of our money for maintenance. So we should think about some alternative. Yes, insurance is important. There is no doubt about it. But At the same time, we have to create government hospitals. I think more and more government hospitals, more clinics at grassroots level, more multi-speciality hospitals, and we can ask people to contribute for it. We can ask we can get CSR, we can get so many things, on it. And I'm sure everyone will support this, because maybe in future, you never know, someday you have to use these hospitals for yourself or for your family members, and so everyone will, I believe, most of us will support it, right? If we have to spend a small chunk of money, if we can contribute from our income, then we should do it. But working on the mistakes that have been conducted by USA, if we are repeating the same thing, then that's not a good sign for a country like India. So that's what this article is all about. Then we are moving on to next item. This one is again a very interesting article, the calumny against Gandhiji. So basically it's about saying negative things about Mahatma Gandhiji. It's not criticizing, it's more about defaming Mahatma Gandhi. Of late, there has been a flurry of statements. I think it was in 2019, end of the second half of 2019, Pragya Thakur said that Nathuram Godse is a patriot, and it created a bit of controversy. Several statues of Godse have been erected, and we also find that every 30th January, which is assassination day of Mahatma Gandhiji, on this day, there are people who put garland around the neck of this Godse's statue. So we find this sort of things taking place, and there are so many people out there, they believe that non-violence was a sign of weakness, and there are people, like one BJP MP said that Gandhi was a drama. This freedom movement led by Mahatma Gandhi was a drama that was staged with consent and support of the British Raj, and Gandhiji was a British agent and things like that. So see, we have to understand criticism is okay, right? If you are criticizing any person, particularly public figure, that's okay, that's acceptable. You can do that, but it should be based on logic, on rationality. It should not be like you want to defame someone and you are just saying it, because you don't like that person emotionally. We have very good examples of B.R. Ambedkar. B.R. Ambedkar was, openly criticizing Mahatma Gandhiji, right? As far as policy was, they both were working for Dalits, but their approaches were different. But that does not mean that they were not respecting each other. Even after this Pune Pact, Dr. Ambedkar said that he was, one thing that he regrets was this Pune Pact. Subhash Chandra Bose was critical of Gandhi's reliance solely on non-violence, and he was also not happy with Mahatma Gandhi's aversion to industrialization. But then as well, they respected each other. 1942, Mahatma Gandhi called Subhash Chandra Bose patriot of patriots, and Bose referred to Gandhi as father of nation in 1944. Gandhi's economic ideas were criticized by left because of his theory of trusteeship, and Jawaharlal Nehru also was not happy with Mahatma Gandhi's aversion to industrialization and belief that governing villages should constitute the basis of Indian polity. But these criticisms were based on genuine differences of opinion. They were not personal, they were more professional, I would say. And the prime example of such fabrication that we find nowadays is, many people believe this. When I'm saying fabrications, I'm talking about these cases where someone is calling Nathuram Godse a patriot, and they are doing this sort of things, garland around Godse statues and this. So there are people out there, they are spreading this information that it was because of Gandhi we had this partition, but in reality Gandhi remained a firm opponent of partition until the very end. The Congress Working Committee accepted the partition plan knowing that this was the case, and because of this thing, Mahatma Gandhi disassociated himself from this celebration. Remember when the whole country was engaged in the celebration of independence, Gandhiji was working for the poor in Bengal, and one of the main reasons because he was not happy with this partition. So Unfortunately, slander has now become a fine art in our country, and this is something that is not good for our polity as well as for our future. Then we have this liberty at government's whim. This one is about this detention cases in Jammu and Kashmir. So fundamental rights, we have been repeatedly been told, do not exist in silos. They are deeply intervened, isn't it? Right to equality, freedom of expression and association, to life and personal liberty. Just imagine that if you are given all these facilities, right? Good, bad, anything you like to eat, anything you like to read, right? You get all these gadgets and everything, but you have to stay in a big palace. You cannot step out of it. You cannot write about anything. You cannot speak about anything. You cannot speak against anything. If you feel that something is not right, then you cannot say anything about it. So if all these things are, all these material things are given to you, but if your rights are taken away, then we cannot call it a right, isn't it? So this is the main, when we say that all these things are intervened, that's what I mean, and that's what this article means, right? So this is just a small example. Now, this one is about Mian Abdul Qayyum. This person here, Mian Abdul Qayyum, he's 76-year-old man, and he is the president of High Courts Bar Association at Srinagar. He was arrested and he is behind the bars from last nearly 6 months. Since this government's decision to strike down this Article 370, he has been detained and he is in jail in Agra. And he is also not well. His doctors are saying that he has to go through a heart surgery and his kidneys are not functioning properly and things like that. So this detention was, he wrote against this detention, and he's not happy with his detention, of course. So this High Court of Jammu and Kashmir has said that. So this article is about this stand taken by Jammu and Kashmir High Court. Now, Justice Tashi Rabstan has said that, of course, our rights are precious, right? They are important. And when it comes to detention, when government is putting someone behind the bar, if someone is detained, then it is, of course, government does this thing to prevent some ghastly events or prevent some bad things taking place in society. So to avoid all those things, few people are detained. But this detention should be in line with Supreme Court's judgment, this Menaka Gandhi versus Union of India case, where it was said that detention should be just and fair. The process should be just and fair. Now, in this case, Jammu and Kashmir court has said this thing that executives knows what to do. Executives, it is their job. They have to, they do look after things, and they have to decide what is needed. Courts cannot interfere in small things. That's what means. These words are different, but that's what the Jammu and Kashmir court has said, that it cannot interfere in petty matters. So executive knows best. If they are putting someone behind the bar or detaining someone, then they know what they are doing. So this article is saying that this PSA, that is Public Security Act of Jammu and Kashmir, this has been misused many a times. And if court will take this sort of stand, then our rights and everything, there will be at the whim of the central government or the government. So government can anytime will have this liberty, or this whole liberty will be at government's whims. So whims and fancies of government. Whenever government is not happy about someone, then or with someone, then government can put that person behind the bar. So this is the main, you can say, crux of this article. And then we have some news items. Supreme Court upholds changes to SC/ST atrocities law. A very important news item. I'm sure we will find one editorial or a few articles in future on this item. Review court can refer questions to larger bench. 1.97 lakh passengers screened for coronavirus. No shortage of funds for Siachen has been said by Army. US note for air defense system sale to India. India moves to include elephant bustard in global conservation list, and 500,000 insect species are facing extinction. Full story is available in the Hindu newspaper. Make sure you go through it, or you want to go through some other news items, then do go through it. Other newspapers, then go through this sort of you'll find this sort of items in other newspapers as well. So I'll leave it on you, whatever is easier for you, but make sure that you go through at least this news items. And if you find something else, then as well go through it. So that's everything in today's discussion, dear friends. Now, as I told you, I am going to bring out yesterday's, that is 10th Feb 2020's The Hindu, as well as daily financial news analysis as soon as possible today. Till then, enjoy your studies. God bless you all. Jai Hind.